Hello everyone, welcome back, and today we'll be covering Pridemoor Keep for the Shovel Any Percent guide. And on this guide we'll be covering quite a lot of different options. Really depends on what you feel like going for in a number of these rooms. But some things I will definitely be encouraging everyone to learn are, for example, the gentle hop that's at the end of this room. Later on there's Diesel's dad strap for making it past some of the lancers. If you really need it, there's health all over the place that you can pick up. There's a lot of RNG that can happen as a result of the propeller rat movement. And somehow I got the dream. I actually got rat boost, where you can actually pogo off of that rat, which really only happens if it's ever in like a handful of specific locations. Most of the time you can't rely on these rats to actually be helping you out, so you're going to have to be able to either adjust to their movement or take a hit or lose some form of time. For those who are interested in the Flare Wand and Chaos Orb routes, I will be covering how to pick up those weapons, at least efficiently. There's not really a whole lot of like quote-unquote tech to going out of your way and grabbing them. Money-wise, the Flare Wand is 1,000 in the stage, Chaos Orb is 2,500 in the village. You should easily have enough money for whichever purchase you'd like. The dinner plate in this room has the potential to be a bomb. So on top of costing you time to stop and grab that food no matter what you do, it may not even be worth it. That said, you only need to damage boost through that particular Griffith, and there is a dinner plate coming up that you can grab without losing any time whatsoever. This one right here always has an apple in it. If you're not comfortable with doing the dad strat, the diesel strat in this room, you can just damage boost. And this room does also have a trickier variation that involves a back boost off the gold armor. And lastly, we have QuickBooks, which I decided to go with regular old QuickBooks. It's pretty lenient, but there is Quickest Books, which is, although it's a silly name, it is faster, but not by much. It's about half a second faster at the cost of a slightly trickier finish and beginning, and another damage boost. The previous room to the left contains some dinner plates with food if you need it. King Knight does deal a full heart of damage, but he shouldn't hit you if you execute the fight properly. This is actually an example of jump canceling and shovel swinging that's pretty complicated, and it's very useful throughout the run. King Knight is honestly one of the most fun examples to me of why combat in this game is so addictive and satisfying. It's going to be crucial later on to pay attention to the way my hand moves in order to be able to understand how exactly this fight is executed. It's kind of silly to be bringing this up right now, but if you aren't jumping at the beginning of every level, you really should be. There is a startup to your run speed, and you completely negate that by jumping. So we are coming up on Gentle Hop, which is a technique used to make it to the second floor in the next room. There's a small little hill in the background right here where this arrow is pointing. This is the visual cue that I use to know when I should be jumping in order to do Gentle Hop. You're trying to jump and swing at the screen transition, and then after you hit the screen transition, you just hold jump. By performing the actions like this, the game thinks that you haven't yet started your jump, so it adds a fresh jump height to the height you've already gained, which allows you to make it up to this next platform. Shoutouts to Mr. Gentle who figured this out. He found a lot of really broken stuff in this game. Since this trick is super specific, if you didn't get it for whatever reason, you either jumped too early or too late and you didn't get enough height to make it over this is the backup for that strat. You'll have to gain a feel for the lava pot cycles in this room, jump as you think it's going to come down, take damage, and make sure that it knocks you up onto this platform. Now in the next room I got really lucky and actually got the rat boost, which requires the rats move in a specific way for you to be able to bounce off of it like that. But should you not want to trust the rats cooperating, the other way to get through this room would be to clear out all of these dirt blocks and then just jump as high as you can to get onto the ladder. On a list of other strats that you could go for in this room, you don't have to bounce off the Wisdom's Cap. You can simply jump over him and then try and pogo off the rightmost side of the beetle so that you don't lose as much time jumping up to grab the ladder. For those of you interested in grabbing the Flare Wand, make sure that you grab it in the stage. It's cheaper and it doesn't cost you as much time. The movement isn't terribly difficult to go and grab this. This is an older route. It only loses about 10 seconds over Neitherless. That's if played optimally, and Neitherless is already slower than the coin route, which is also going to be covered here in this guide. But the whole point of grabbing the weapons in general, the Chaos Orb or the Flare Wand, is that it makes your run easier. And you can even use it on King Knight in his fight. When doing the damage boost for the Griffith, you want to be right about here where the arrow is pointing. Just turn left, attack, and jump. And that's because when you damage boost, if you're damage boosting from the ground, there's a small moment where you can't move as a result of taking damage. When exiting this room, you have to pogo off a dirt block, but you can't just hold down right. You actually have to wait until you are directly over the dirt block before you can press down. Otherwise, you'll break that small dirt block to the left. And then for the dad strat that was found by SDiezal, again, you can just damage boost, but if you want to go for this small window of opportunity, you can do an attack while you're very close to the Lancer, just before you land, and then make sure you're jumping to cancel the recovery animation of the swing. Keep hopping and going to the right, and you should be able to make it through without taking damage. This next room has some more left-right nonsense. So long as you're pogoing and holding left and right, apparently keyboard runners can literally just hold left, down, and right at the same time. Time your attack after you've bounced off of this Duck Knight. Hitting him in the back gives you enough of a boost to make it over the gap, and then you should be able to leave the room normally. Again, really quickly at full speed. The key to this room is to just do 2 full jumps as soon as you touch the ground. So 1 full jump right there, then another full jump, and you should be able to hit the leftmost corner of this book, still make it onto the platform, time your jumps to leave. Last bit of stage tech to cover is quickest books. You have to move really quickly at the beginning in order to be able to beat this first set of lava pots. Essentially, you don't want to let go of right. You need to in order to be able to hit the book and land up on this platform, but otherwise you're going to be holding right the entire time. The middle section of quickest books is fairly similar, pretty easy going, but once you get to the next book that you have to hit, you actually want to delay yourself just a little bit, and then in order to save time you actually have to turn around and do a damage boost. Jump straight up facing left, swing, then move to the right so that Shovel Knight will get hit by the lava pots. You'll land on this last set of magical books, and then you can jump over to the ladder. So this only saves about half a second, but let's look at it again. Remember, you want to move very quickly to beat that first set of lava pots. Once you get to the middle section, you want to wait just a little bit to make sure you don't get hit by this set of lava pots, and then jump, turn around, backwards damage boost, and leave. Getting past this Griffith without taking damage requires that you jump from a pretty specific spot. I like to use these castles in the background for reference. Jump, swing as you reach his face, then pogo. You should be close enough to just get the couple tinks required to get over him. Now for the King Knight fight himself, walk towards him, then jump once you're really close so that you can get your first 2 pogos off basically immediately. You'll be following him on the way up and then bonk into the ceiling. Move down to the left, but don't pogo on him again. You're only going to be tapping left on these first 2 swings so that you can stay close enough to hit him. For the second 2 swings afterwards, you're going to let the pushback guide you to follow along with him. After the 4th swing, you're pogoing twice on him, again following him up to the ceiling just like you did before, bonking on the ceiling, coming down, and then repeating the same motion. Same thing, but this time from right going to left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 pogos. 3 more pogos on the way up, and then on the way down you'll do 1 more swing, jump, and then swing again to finish the fight. Here's that fight again at full speed. Swing, pogo, pogo, 1, 2, 3, 4, pogo, pogo, 1, 2, 3, 4, pogo, pogo, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. A couple alternatives for this fight, starting with a slightly trickier finish. Instead of doing the last set of 3 pogos, you're going to pogo off of him and start swinging at him while staying very close to him. This is extremely difficult to do without getting hit by him. Again, a quick look at that finish. Beginning is very much the same, and right at the end, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last difference we're looking at is the use of Flare Wand. So instead of doing the last 2 swings with jump cancels, you just fire 2 flare shots at him. My final parting thoughts before ending this video is if you are going for the Chaos Orbs, this is when you would now do that. After clearing Pridemoor, you're going to have just enough money to purchase the Chaos Orbs. Movement through the village is, again, not very difficult, not super complicated, just be clean. Think about what you have to do, get used to menuing pretty quickly. Do note that Flare Wand can only have 2 shots on the screen at any given time, same as the Chaos Orb. Flare Wand shots are 4 magic, while Chaos Orbs are 6. I don't recommend grabbing health upgrades right now. You can do that later without losing as much time, and if you really need health upgrades, you can grab more at a later time, at the same time. The video is going to continue focusing on the coin route since that's the fastest, but I will also continue bringing up little differences with all the other routes. Thanks for watching. See you next time at the Lich Yard.